Today we'll be making fancy looking but super easy to make and delicious Gruyere Cheese Bread Rolls. They're perfect for sandwiches, so soft and with a little bit of deep flavor kick from Gruyere cheese. But are also perfect to serve with your next fancy sit-down dinner. I'll bet you they'll be gone in seconds. I will be making this recipe in a stand mixer, but obviously you can do all of this by yourself just using a big mixing bowl and a little bit of elbow grease. We'll start off by pouring 150 milliliters of cold milk. For this recipe, it's best if you use whole milk since its high percentage of fat will ultimately contribute to even better flavor. But if all you have is skimmed milk, don't worry, this bread will be delicious either way. Next, we'll need 150 milliliters of cool water, 1 extra large egg. Usually you would break it in a separate bowl, especially if you're using free-range organic farmer's eggs like I am here, which is super great for many reasons. But I did feel a little adventurous and risk-taking. And now let's add one of my favorite ingredients, 40 grams of good quality honey. I would recommend using raw or wild honey as it's the purest form that retains all the good enzymes and nutrients. And it's not diluted with artificial sugar syrups very often found in pasteurized honey. 50 milliliters of extra virgin olive oil, 500 grams of flour. Ideally you would use strong bread flour, but you really don't have to. Just check the protein content on the nutrition tag of the flour you're using. I find that many all-purpose flours have really high protein content, so for this recipe I just decided to use organic all-purpose flour. And it worked out great. We're going to add 5 grams of instant yeast in the same bowl with the rest of the ingredients. Now the reason we can do this is because we're using instant yeast that doesn't need proofing prior to use. Next, we'll add 10 grams of salt, which is about 1 3/4 teaspoons. Salt can hinder the growth of yeast, so make sure to put it in the opposite side of the bowl. The reason we can mix yeast and salt in the same bowl is that we're using instant yeast. Instant yeast acts really fast and it can get all the moisture it needs from the rest of the ingredients in order to develop quickly before the salt can get to it with its own moisture sucking power and kill it. This is a very interesting topic and I will cover it in a separate video and I will link it below. And last but definitely not least, we're going to put 50 grams of cold cubed butter. I find it's best if you crumble it as well, but either will be fine. And off to the mixer we go. Use the dough mixing hook on your mixer and turn it to the second speed for about 12 minutes until all the ingredients are mixed and the dough starts pulling away from the bowl. Feel free to scrape the sides of the bowl to help it along. Lightly flour the board and turn out the dough onto the working surface using the scraper or simply a rubber spatula. And now fold the edges towards the center as you rotate the dough. Don't worry if it sticks to the board, it's a very soft dough, just scrape it off with your fingers. But don't add any more flour. Form it into a ball, tighten the edges and place into a clean bowl. Cover it with a towel. I prefer to use 2 towels as my kitchen is cold, and place it somewhere warm for 60 minutes. As always, doing some art is a great way to pass the time. After an hour has passed, the dough has doubled in size and we can see yeast action in form of little bubbles in the dough. Lightly flour the board and divide the dough into 10 equal pieces. Make sure to weigh them so they're all the same size. Take each piece of the dough and gently flatten it into a roughly square shape. Fold the top half of the dough towards yourself, then rotate and do the same with the opposite end, making sure to overlap it. Now we're going to take that seam and press it down with the heel of our hand. Next we're going to fold the dough with the seam in the center and we'll press with our fingers so the edges join into a new, stronger seam. Now bring the ends together, flip the dough seam down and form it into a bowl. Let's do that again. Fold, rotate, fold again, press the edges with the palm of your hand, then fold along the seam, seal, and form into a ball. You will need 2 baking sheets in total, each will take 5 balls, this way they will bake properly without crowding. Depending on the sheet, you can either dust it with flour or use the parchment paper. Cover them with towels and let them rise another hour. Let's preheat the oven to 190 Celsius or 375 Fahrenheit. Time to make the glaze and prepare the topping. We'll need to whisk 2 extra large eggs. Next, we'll need 150 grams of really good Gruyere cheese. The rind of Gruyere cheese is generally not eaten, but I've tried it and it was fine and delicious, so I'll leave it up to you if you want to include it or not. Grind the cheese and place it in a bowl off to the side. Our bread rolls are double in size and nice and ready. For this next step, you can use the lame if you have it or simply cut into bread rolls with scissors. Make 2 slightly deeper incisions. Glaze all the rolls with the egg wash and take a little or a lot of grated Gruyere cheese and push it into cuts we made with scissors. And now they're ready for the oven. When you place the breads in the oven, make sure to bring the temperature down from 190 Celsius to 175 and from 375 Fahrenheit to 350. Bake them about 20 minutes until they turn golden brown, but make sure to put them on broil for the last minute or 2. This will give them that serious, professional looking dark brown color and not the cheap and cheesy orangey hue, and it will really amp up the flavor of both the bread and the cheese. So don't be afraid to turn up the heat on your cheese bread rolls. But do keep an eye on them as you don't want them to burn for real. Just look at that deep dark brown color. And the softness. Place the bread rolls on a wire rack and let them completely cool before eating. Okay, so now I want to share with you an easy and rustic recipe for a delicious sandwich that's super easy to make, yet it tastes and looks very chefy. Heat up a little bit of olive oil and place tomatoes on the vine in the skillet and fry them on medium-high heat until they're slightly dark brown on each side. Cover them with a lid, lower the temperature and let them cook until you get this caramelized beautifulness. Slice the bread, add a little lettuce, some brie cheese, caramelized tomatoes, a little bit of pepper, and of course, more cheese. Ready to try? This bread is so soft and delicious. I hope you like this recipe and I hope you'll be making Gruyere bread buns really soon. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. Also hit the little bell button so you know when the next video about bread comes out. See you next time, bye!